Here are 35 online reviews of the audiobook titled, The 5-Second Rule. Written and narrated by Mel Robbins. 1. Just watch the TED Talk. I barely got through half of this book, and I decided that I couldn't move forward. I found it very repetitive and not extremely helpful. Just watch the TED Talk that inspired this book, implement and move forward with your life. 2. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And do it. The 5-second rule is the moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and physically move, or your brain will stop you with an excuse. This starting ritual will help to change many of your behaviors. There are 5-second moments all day long: wake up early, exercise, clean up, organize files, pay the bills, do the laundry, don't have that drink, don't smoke, update your resume, and speak up in a meeting. These are all simple actions that can be done, and you probably had these thoughts 100 times already. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it. This is a better alternative to sitting there and worrying or complaining about it. There is no right time or the feeling of being ready, just count down and do it. There isn't anything earth-shattering about this advice. If you tried it and it does work for you, read the book to stay motivated and be inspired by stories of other people who have changed their lives. 3. Would have been better as a motivational poster. I tried to listen to as much as this book as I could stomach, but there was just no substance. It was the same exact statement reworded over and over again a million different ways. On top of that, the author likes to laugh at her quirks, at odd times. As I'm trying to listen to it right now, the book is telling me, again, how the rule will help me, without specifying anything else about this rule. There are volumes and volumes of research proving that it works, which aren't cited. I would suggest skipping over this book, because the entire book is the author counting down from 5, over and over and over with fluff in between. 4. Simple concept stretched beyond required. The concept is very simple and you will get it in probably the first 5 minutes of your listening. The rest of the book is simply examples and examples. I went on to listen to the book every time expecting something different will come about using the 5 seconds rule, and all I could listen to was examples. 5. Thanks, Mel. I am a stay-at-home mom, and for too long I have let that box determine what others thought of me and what I'm capable of, and I cared. But it was an excuse to not live up to my full potential, because I've never done anything else and I was scared to fail and confirm their beliefs. I have started a home-based business now, and I homeschool my kids, and I manage our real estate properties. We are on our way to the life of our dreams and I get to contribute in a big way. I am going to live every day to its fullest and love with my whole heart, leaving nothing important unsaid. Thanks, Mel. The courage and capacity was within me the whole time, but something led me to your book, and now I have found myself, and am sure I can achieve anything. 6. Infomercial. The 5-second rule is definitely worth discussion and utilizing, and it's great that Mel Robbins has made it her mission. However, the book reads like an infomercial. Rather expanding upon any ideas around the rule, how or why the rule works, Mel discusses social media posts about people who have used it. The 5-second rule is not new either, and it could concerns me slightly when Mel gives the impression she has reinvented the wheel. Her intention to spread positive action should be lauded, but this does not work as a book in the way, for example, The Power of Now does. 7. Great way to start your day. I listen to just a few minutes each morning, and every day since I started doing this my days have been more productive and focused. 5-4-3-2-1 and buy this book on Audible if you haven't. Brainwash yourself to know how very worthy and powerful you are. Stop living in the shadows and break free. As I just wrote this, I realized I was talking about myself, and so I am off to break free today and reach new horizons I've only dreamed of. 8. Just an amazing boom. A really must read. I've been a member of Audible for some years now. Never had I cried during my hearing/reading time. I caught myself crying at times. Very inspiring. Mel Robbins does an excellent job narrating. It seems she is with you in the car, just chatting. Never felt that before. The content is pure meat, no hay. Beautifully. 9. I love the performance, mistakes, and all. Having Mel Robbins read the book was great. I felt like she was in the car with me. I appreciated the mistakes that were left in, rather than edited out, and I loved the emotion. When she cried, I cried. When she sounded passionate, I felt passionate. Definitely worth a listen. My kids and I have listened to this audio 4 times, already. Love it. 10. redundant. Although the 5-second rule is a great concept, I don't feel there was enough material to make a whole book. Mel repeats herself excessively, and half the book is testimonies of people who implemented the rule. Okay, I get it already. I get the feeling she is talking off the top of her head. I'd skip the book and just watch the TED Talk. 11. Never ends. To be fair, I've just finished Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, so I had expectations higher. Mel Robbins waxes on and on about her own life for the better part of an hour, before finally getting to some sort of substance to her ebook, going on to discredit experts, never going into depths on her various proof, nothing that really convinces me. I won't lie, the 5-second rule in itself is probably fantastic, but she sells it very badly. First audiobook I regret buying. 12. So awful I'm gonna try to get my credit back. Couldn't finish the first chapter. Every minute saying the same thing. It sounds like that pyramidal scheme guy. So passionate, feels like you want to be as energetic as her, but in reality she's not saying anything at all. Just the same concept over and over again. I listened to a few random minutes of the next 7 chapters and sounds the same. I want my credit back. 13. Could have been summarized in 2 minutes. I usually put only stars as reviews for the audiobooks I listen to, but not for this one. It is by far the worst book I ever listened to on Audible, in terms of content, although the performance is good. The content is full of anecdotes and repetitions. Moreover, the author says multiple times that her 5-second rule is supported by research, but I am 2 hours into the book and I still haven't heard of actual research being explained or mentioned. I deeply regret spending money on this book. 14. 5-second summary. First off, I disdain cursing. The writer enjoys it a lot. She should use her own 5-second rule to stop cursing. Secondly, it is obvious no one listened to this book after recording it. There are multiple mess-ups and repeats. Summary, just count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 go. Now you can do anything. I just saved you from reading a 7-hour book. You're welcome. 15. Very inspiring. Mel Robbins seems to have a wonderfully honest, raw-sounding and relatable voice. I could feel her passion as she spoke. I woke up at 5:15 today to ride my bike and clear my head because I know it makes me feel my best. I didn't hit snooze for the first time in 3 months because I said, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 go. I'm going to explore this some more and see what happens. 16. Save your credit. Never really written an Audible review, but I actually had to go. Am I crazy? About this feeling like a rambling rehash very quickly. I didn't finish the first time around and tried getting back into it. I made it one more chapter before going to the reviews and seeing if it was just me. Read a few that made me feel validated, which is typical, but then, I saw one person say they couldn't get past chapter 12. I thought, I wonder, and sure enough when I checked my progress I was on chapter 13. The first time around I got it right and tapped out. Leaving this review for the next guy who makes it this far. You're right, stop listening, try the next one. 17. Worth your time and dollar. I felt like Mel brings up awesome ways to improve your life. I read a lot of self-help books, but hers is my favorite self-help book so far. My only complaint is she hits the head of the nail over and over and over, but all her points are important, so maybe that's intentionally. She probably wants to drill those ideas into our heads. I will definitely be reading more of her work. 18. I listened to it over and over. There is so much good advice in this book. The 5-second rule is an amazing way to get yourself to do the things that you want to do, but don't really feel like doing. Like exercising, part of me wants to do it, but usually I don't feel like it. To get it done, you make a decision to do what is best for you and then within 5 seconds get moving. That's it. Also, the science that Mel researched and presented explains why it works. Mel is a treasure, I really love her. 19. Game changer. This book came into my life at the perfect time. It has been a life changer since the day I started listening. I started with the Audible, bought the hardback and then the journal. It's simple and works. I can't tell you just how many areas of my life it has changed. I would suggest listening and then buy the hardcover if you want it as a study book. It's helped me get my butt out of bed in the morning, plan my day and set goals for the future. I even went on a helicopter flight, X2. It was a major fear to get over. Thanks Mel. 20. So simple, but extremely effective when applied. On the surface, the 5-second rule is banal and seemingly much too simple to call for an entire book that explains it. Yet we need it as a source of motivation and as a reminder that it actually works. Sometimes the simplest solutions in life are the most effective, and the 5-second rule is proof. I started implementing it as soon as I read the basic principles explained in the initial chapters and saw a positive effect immediately. The only issue with it that I can see in the future is actually sticking to it and reminding myself to apply it when things get tough. But it really is a life changer, as long as you dedicate yourself to implementing it as it was intended. 21. Amazing and such an impactful concept. Mel Robbins has hit on a brilliant technique. 5 seconds to change things in your life. It sounds simple and it is. And it's the act of actually doing the thing that makes the difference. I'm almost finished with the book and I am loving so many of her ideas. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm using many of the things she shares about already and it's making a difference. This book is one of the best I've listened to in a long while. And she's funny too. A must read if you want to make a difference in your life and in the world. 22. Too much repetition. I ran out of patience to listen to the whole book. It pretty much just says the same thing over and over again. I got the idea in the first chapter, and sure you can elaborate, but it just seems to drag on and on explaining the same point. 23. Amazing. I absolutely love this book. Started using the 5-second rule and man, does it make a difference. I get so much done now, lol. And I took the leap to start a business that I'm finding resources are just jumping out to grab. It's amazing how much we can hold ourselves back. The mind can be a prison if you let it. Thank you, Mel Robbins. 24. Perfection. This book has already helped me get up in the morning and has inspired me to use the 5-second rule to take control of my career path. I've been making excuses since I was a freshman in college about why I haven't chosen a specific path, but with the help of the 5-second rule, I will launch myself into a career path. I don't care how much I don't want to face adulthood. Thank you, Mel. 25. Love this book and Mel Robbins. Such a great book. This was exactly what I needed to hear as I was crawling my way out of a hole of depression and ad circles. She gave me so many tips and advice. It was a relief to hear I wasn't the only one who has the behaviors. I will listen to this book again and recommend it to anyone I see going through similar struggles. 26. Way too long, could have been half the length. The core premise is good, backed by valid research, but the book drags on and on, repeating breathless examples of praise copied from social media, so that after a while it feels less like a book and more like an infomercial. 27. Meh. So many life-changing stories are shared in this book, yet it feels like you are hitting the reader over the head with a concept that could have been explained in under 30 minutes and instead we have to listen for more than 7 hours. The concept is good, maybe great for some, but hitting the reader over the head counting backwards again and again and again is too much. By the end of the book, whenever she started another 5-4-3-2-1, I wanted to scream. It's great to know how many people she's helped, possibly saved, it just was grating by the end. 28. Simply, thank you. Just finished this book, but started applying the rule from day one, and as I keep counting 5-4-3-2-1 go through my day, I'm getting more accomplished in a quarter of my day as while day before, but most importantly I have given myself permission to explore my greatness within. And the funny thing is now I can see doors opening that I didn't know were there. With that I just want to say, thank you. 29. Great concept, but I think I would have enjoyed this more had I read it. Mel's accent and personality, the writer and narrator, got on my nerves a bit. A few times I almost shut it off and said forget it, but the concept is solid, and worth adopting. I think this would be better off narrated by someone else. 30. Great concept, not a great book. The whole concept of the 5-second rule seems helpful. Unfortunately, since it is quite simple, the author had to fill space. There are far more words than necessary. The author's personal story of how she invented the rule was interesting. However, I found the foul language distracting. I suppose the author used it for emphasis when describing how she hit bottom. I'm glad I didn't stop listening at that early point because she didn't speak that way throughout the book. I did stop listening about 2/3 through. The author kept going on and on about how the listener can overcome their social anxiety, or worry, or fear, or whatever negative attitude is holding them back. I'm sure it is very helpful for people with those struggles. For me though, it was planting those new concepts in my brain. I didn't want to hear any more, even if I may have missed a nugget or two at the end of the book. 31. Valuable concepts sold like an infomercial. I am a sucker for new strategies and theories on motivation, organization, memory, and beating procrastination. The books I find most valuable will address these subjects with a list of tools, techniques, and/or strategies along with supporting, relevant data or research that shines light on the why things work. Others, like this one, take a single one of those tools and stretch the explanation into a full-size book that is as much self-promotion and anecdotal stories as real, interesting, and valuable information. The 5-second rule is a great technique that can work wonders, but the information offered in this book could have been provided in a 3-page pamphlet. 32. Very slow progress. Could not bring myself to finish this, after an hour of listening to this. It's just her repeating how amazing this 5 seconds rule is, and she keeps bringing many different stories from different people up. A lot of the time it's just filled in words where you just wished it would get to the point. The rule might be good and all, but the book is not. 33. Stretched but life-changing book. One of the best books I've gotten from Audible, a top 5 on my list. It's not an idea that's out of this world, but a genius trick that has always been under our noses. The only con is after reaching about chapter 14 it felt draggy, but all else before that was worth the purchase. You won't regret getting this. 34. Life-changing emotional read, loved it. Going through a very hard time and I needed something to inspire me do the work God designed me to do, battling depression and overcoming huge obstacles. I am ready to start over with the 5-second rule. Thanks Mel Robbins, your heartfelt narration made my heart skip a beat more than one time. Big hug from Texas. 35. Helps me get out of bed in the morning. This book's cured me from my normal daily routine of avoiding the world and my great destiny by laying in bed all morning. Some days is make an excuse to miss a whole day. Business wasn't going well and I was behind on my credit cards, some of which sued me. But seeing that I have to face my challenges either way, I chose to face them on 2 feet, swinging the sword of effort and tenacity, not on my belly cowering with a pillow over my head all morning. My problems have since fled far from me 7 ways, the way demons do when they see Jesus coming. Great book. I will read again. I even heard a little Les Brown in there. Yes, there is greatness in me. 15-star book. Thank you for watching. Please, do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Tune in for more online audiobooks reviews.